Hey guys, how you doing? This is JT from JT. Excuse me, my bad. Starting over. Hey guys, this is JT and Urban Podcast. I almost forgot Urban. He always forgets me, and I made a note not to do that, but subconsciously it happened. Eli or Urban, whatever you want to call him, depending on what show we do. But right now we're doing the JT and Urban Podcast. Guys, thanks. Please do the housekeeping, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. But what we want to do today is talk about a serious matter. So all jokes aside, all right, Eli, let's get serious.
All right.
We're going to talk about what's happening in the media right now. Happened a couple days ago. Tichina Arnold had a tweet that talked about the emasculation of men, black men in America. And we want to discuss that and share our points today. Urban, what you think?
Man, I know you said it all serious, but I got to give you a round of applause. You did that with no mistakes, man. That's awesome. But going back to the topic at hand, I think it is something that we have to address, because it does happen. It does happen a lot in this world, especially amongst blacks men, where woman makes us feel like, hey, we're not needed, or you always hear it, oh yeah, I'm independent, I don't need no man. We hear that. Me personally, I don't want to speak for everybody, because this could be very touchy. And if anybody do have a problem with this topic, I want you to blame JT. It was his idea. It wasn't my idea. So let's just blame JT. But I've heard it plenty of times where, oh, I don't need a man. I don't need this. I don't need that. To the point where I'm like, man, maybe we're not needed, because obviously they got it figured out. They don't need us. You feel me?
Well, if you look at it in that term, we don't want to make it men against women in this video. We already have enough strain as it already is in our relationships and how we dealing with each other. And as Eli made a perfect point, is that we hear that claim. We see that men are no longer needed as much in the nucleus as a family. This is how society is pushing it. But what we want to focus on at this present time, Tichina Arnold made a tweet, and we want to share that tweet right now.
Honest question. What can we as black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America? The 52-year-old actress tweeted. That was real simple. What can we as black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America?
So basically, to reiterate that tweet, she focused on asking a question. And the question was, what can we as black women, not us, not men, but black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America? Now, when I heard this question that she posed, it meant like those who have contact with black men, what can women do to help support them or keep them from the public eye as being emasculated? Now, as men, our job is to protect and provide for our family. Now, when it comes down to being emasculated in the sense that she is about how can they shield any emasculation that the world would see, being a black woman, what could she do that's less emasculating? And I wanted to form this from this definition, what I assumed she meant. What happens when a man is emasculated? I got this from Google. They feel essentially powerless. The emasculated man may feel both embarrassed and ashamed of himself as a man. As a result, he may try to desperately to either prove his masculinity to others or to hide the fact that he perceives himself lacking. Now, if that is what Tichina Arnold meant, there's nothing she can do to actually make a man feel more of a man. But what she can do is make sure that she doesn't condemn the man when he's trying his best. And as sometimes when we feel that we're less of a man because the women that we're here to take care of and provide for our families make us feel that we're not doing all that we can, or make us feel less of. This is only when you look at a family paradigm, but not a whole as a whole. So, Eli, what do you think on that term?
And I think, on a serious note, that I'm emasculated because you just went on a whole 5-minute rant and I didn't even get a word in. Not one word. And now you finally asked me, I'm emasculated, man. I'm emasculated.
I guess men can do it too.
Hey, but it makes sense because I remember in a previous relationship where I'm doing everything I can. I'm talking about I'm doing everything. Although, yes, I'm living with my mom at the time. And although, yes, I may not have the best of job, but I'm talking about I'm here trying everything I can. And every time when I'm trying to do my best, I'm always hit with the, oh, you're still living at home with your moms. Oh, you're not making enough money. Oh, is this what I'm trying? And it really makes me feel in a way where, man, like everything I'm trying to get out of here, but instead of bringing me up, you're just throwing me down. And it really hindered that relationship. It really put a strain on that relationship versus when I got the current my wife right now at the time was my girlfriend, where she didn't focus on that. It was more she was more building me up. Oh, hey, yeah, no problem, cool. What is it that we're working on? Hey, all right, hey, what is it that you want to do? What is it that I can do to help? Hey, here's what you can do to help me. When it went from that toxic relationship to that is more building me up and me building her up, it's like we took it and went to a whole different level from it. And it was just that word of encouragement. Her actually, and I want to mention this too. The last one, the last relationship where it was turning me down, it was just the mom raising her. Now the one with my wife, her mom and dad were both in the picture. I just want to say that. I'm not saying that had anything to do with it, but it outweighs itself. But keep going. What else, JT?
You bring up a good point, and I think that I'm glad you stated that last part, because a person who understands how it's important to build their man up. Now, once again, this is in a relationship. This is a person who understands that, hey, I can't tear him down when I see him actually doing what he's supposed to do. Now, you move from your mother house into now you're now married in your own home, and you're taking care of the protection and the providing. And that's very important. But the most important thing that you focused on is that your black woman is taking care of her man by feeding into him, by giving him the actual things that he's actually needed. The importance of having a black woman tell her black man that I'm building you up instead of tearing you down is very important. It makes me think about a skit or a clip that I saw Kevin Gates talk about this very same thing. And we want to share that right now.
I wasn't happy. The world was already beat. The world, as men, especially as a provider, a lot of men don't speak about this, but a lot of men suffer in silence also.
Right.
When you a provider and you a real provider, but you already unhappy and you not feeling like you being celebrated in a proper manner, you feel like you only being tolerated. Like a lot of people be like, why certain men don't go home? Like when I was in the streets, I used to hate going home because I feel like it's cool, but I ain't welcome though. Cause it don't feel embracing when I go home. It's like y'all act like this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Thanks.
And a lot of men suffer from that and not knowing that it's okay to have your man cave. You have to go in your solitude and have your time for yourself in order for you to release. Because we so busy being tough and harboring all these resentment and emotions and all the shit we deal with, you know what I'm saying, to where it's just that pressure was on top of my head. I was like, man, I quit.
Wow, that's powerful, man.
So when you have a person that feels that way, and we all have felt this way, and once again, I'm talking about in a relationship, because I can't speak about men in general, even though I am a man and Eli's a man as well. When she made this statement, I'm only assuming she meant those that she's in contact with, because some of the main distractors from her comment stated that, well, what about women being protected and black men protecting black women? And I asked the question to Eli. You're married, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You protect your wife, correct?
Of course.
You protect your household.
Mm-hmm.
You are a protector for your sister.
Yep.
And your mother.
Yep.
As a black man there, willing to protect those he's in contact with and those in his family. And I dare to say that some women run from that hedge of protection, but then ask, where are black men to protect them? And I say, we protect those who are there for us to be protected.
Now, I do want to mention as well, you have to elaborate on protection. Like, some people may hear the word protection and be like, yeah, shield, all right, hey, you're not going to get hurt. I'm going to fight. I'm going to be physical. If I tell you, hey, listen, I don't think this is the best way. Hey, when you go outside, make sure you do it this way. Or, hey, like I tell my wife, hey, let's go to the gym so we can be more healthier in the future. That's a form of protection as well, because I'm not just thinking about, hey, just protecting you physically. I'm thinking about protecting you in the future as well. So that verbal protection. Hey, like, hey, listen, hey, we're not, like me and my wife, we don't work. We don't have, like, how can I say? We don't work for 1099. We make our own money. And I'll tell her, it's my job to be like, hey, you know what? I understand she's not paying Social Security, so when she gets older, she may not receive Social Security. So let me start up a Roth IRA for her. That's a form of protection as well. Right? It's not just, hey, man, this person slapped my wife. All right, let me go there and protect her. It's not just that. Protection could be in many ways and forms. But keep going,
Protection can be in many ways and forms, and I do agree with you. And just to make sure that I double down on the statement that I made before I address what Eli stated. When I say about protection, and I said about asking him questions about him protecting those that's in his proximity, in his contact, I'm not saying that women in broad should not be protected. And I understand when they say about, social issues, at the job, issues that women go through, they would love to see more men involved. And I do agree. Men should be involved in our women's lives in that form of protection as well. This form of protection, I'm keeping in lines of what Tichina Arnold, I believe that she meant, was those in contact. And a form of protection I do believe is also financial, and also making sure that the future of your wife and your family are in good standings. I do agree that that's part of the things that we have to do as protecting and providing for our families as men. But I also look as instruction, giving proper instruction to make sure that safety is ensured is also a form of protection. It doesn't always mean that I have to have my fists and a gun ready to protect. Instruction is part of that as well.
Now, by all means, we're not saying you should just listen to everything men say. We're not saying that whatsoever.
Right instruction, proper instruction is definitely important. And I agree with you. You got to make sure it's clear. We want to make sure that it's sound instructions. Now, this is on the terms of listening to a man who understands, and you understand that his words are putting you in that form of safety, not a form of taking care of you like as a daddy to a child, a form of safety. That's one of the things that men do. We want to feel that we are protected.
I also want to say, like, when it comes to me and my wife, if I have a decision that I want to make, and my wife sees something that I don't, she's like, hey, listen, there's this. I don't think you're viewing it this point. I don't think you're viewing this. And I have to be like, hey, you know what? You're right. I did not see that whatsoever. Thank you. So I also listen to her, what my wife have to say. It's not just a one way. It's not like a one direction thing. Like, hey, I'm the man, you listen to me. That's not what we're trying to say at all. I listen to her and I'll put it into consideration and apply like that.
But if a decision has to be made, who's going to take that winning shot? Thank you. It's going to be you. So my thing is respecting that leadership. These are things that Tachina didn't have a chance to say. We only speaking out our point on it and what clips that we shared and what definitions we gave. The emasculation of men just not making us weak within the public. And I think she wanted to talk about a certain incident, but she didn't want to say the incident that we seen that a man that we all know is being emasculated based off what his wife is putting out there. And I think that that is not giving him a good look. And he's right now, he's going through an inner turmoil that I'm hoping that one day that he will fix. But I wanted to address the distractors to state that women are not being protected. I agree. Women can get more, definitely need and should get more protection from men. Just to reiterate, I believe women should be protected on all platforms, in all areas. And we, as men, will shield our women from any thing that would make them look bad in public. And this is why I appreciate exactly what Tichina Arnold put out in that tweet, to put out the question to Black America: what can women do to aid in the ending of emasculation of Black males? It's an important question. And if she's talking about those that she's in contact with and other Black women are in contact with, I think is an important question, because we should shield each other, protect each other, because this world that we live in does enough harm to us. We should not be doing harm to each other. So thank you so much for joining us on another video, another podcast. Please join us again, JT and Urban Podcast. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to our channel. Hit the like button, and we'll see you in the comments. Take care.